Hey, this is Bree and Ashley with Stevens Real Estate at EXP.
You are listening to Hudson Valley Homegrown, where we talk all things real estate, growth mindset,
Women in business, entrepreneurship,
all in the Hudson Valley.
and good vibes all the time.
Hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back to Hudson Valley Homegrown.
Nice. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Ashley's favorite topic, growth mindset and
the
flow
power of positivity.
Yes.
And
awesome.
flow state. So where should we start?
Well,
So much to
I guess this is going to be, we're going to try and, keep it as brief and as little, I don't know, we could get a little woo-woo, I feel like. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I guess we could start with growth mindset because being in real estate and being in any industry really right now and just trying to get ahead in life, I feel like you need to have a growth mindset. I mean, there's so many forces that are being thrown at us and so much negativity and so much of like a lack mindset that I feel like it's super important to have a growth mindset and kind of be working towards that.
What is growth mindset?
Oh, okay. Growth mindset. I mean, it could really mean anything depending on who you are, but growth mindset is obviously trying to achieve more for yourself and being in a place of, bettering yourself, whether that be physically, mentally, with your career, business, anything in life, just having a growth mindset and knowing that you deserve more and you're capable of more. And that's really, it ties into anything in life, relationships, business, personal, whatever. So having growth mindset, being constantly focused on growing and just receiving and being in a better state of mind is going to help you not be so depressed in a crazy world.
I think for me, the difference between being comfortable and adventure. So, if you stay where you are, it's the same thing every single day. But when you're growing and you're constantly trying to excel, that leaves you open to make space for adventure and to achieve new things, whatever goal that may be.
Yeah. I think the hardest part too for a lot of people is stepping out of their comfort zone. And that's super hard and it's scary. And, you kind of have to be committed to just being raw and uncomfortable and doing things that challenge you. And in the end, it's exciting. Like for you, you said you look at it as an adventure. So I think also switching your mindset on, hey, this is going to be exciting, adventurous,
right? Instead
of scary and having that lack mindset where it's scary, you're going to fail. Like I'm not capable of this, blah, blah, blah. So right. I think I love that you described it as an adventure because that's a really positive way to look at it. Yeah.
Because I don't do good with like planning. Like I plan, I have my goals, but then I'm not so regimented. So like if I set a goal, I like to keep like an open mindset to experience new things. And like, if you break it down moment to moment, you kind of just, you just like roll with it.
I was listening to an Audible book actually, because I've been listening to music so much lately. I'm like, I need to like swap it out because I don't like music isn't vibing. So it was like mindset behind psychology. And I only started like, it was 30 minutes, but basically she's like a psychologist and she studies basically people's brains and what makes them productive and all of that. And the first episode was she was giving challenges to young kids and kids were like, she was so shocked because the kids were going to the room like, ooh, like I love a challenge or like, ooh, like I was expecting like this to be easy, but I like that I have to figure out like young kids, like looking at it that way. So I think that spoke to me because I'm like, wow, like a lot of us think of challenge as a negative and we get super upset when we can't do things and it doesn't come easily, but being, having that mindset. Yeah.
It's boring.
To just like challenge yourself and
any other way.
It was cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. So growth mindset, what are some things that you do every day or if you, as much as you can to have a growth mindset, especially in this industry, knowing that things can change at any moment in time?
Yeah, definitely change any moment of time and there's highs and there are lows. So I think the most important is like the power of positivity, no matter what the situation, to always find the silver lining in the moment. And, it happens to me a lot where in the moment I might not see the positive, but you just kind of have to reach for it and it guides you through. And next thing you know, like you end up on top. So no matter what situation, what industry, what goal, like we all have our own lives, but just really trying to find the positive.
Yeah, I totally think that using like the silver linings thing is just huge. And it sounds stupid and like,
Cliche.
I don't know, it sounds super cliche, but it's like whatever's happening, like whatever decision you make, like trust that that's the right decision in the moment.
Yeah.
If it is, then it's going to be easy and it's going to come naturally. And then if it's not, then you can always change your path and do something else. So
in the moment to like flow state, like to enter flow state, you literally have to be in the moment.
Yeah. And I think to be open to receiving anything, you have to be present.
Right.
And you have to realize that you deserve it and you want it. And you just literally have to be present and just trust that whatever you're putting out there is going to ultimately equal whatever you want in the end.
Yeah.
And I fully believe that.
I do too. And you touched on putting it, what you put out there. So like what you feel is what you're going to receive from the universe. So if you're constantly putting negative out there, you're going to get negative back. But if you, again, stay positive and focus on the positive, even if it's a smidge of something in a shit situation,
A little glimmer,
like you'll get to the other side.
Yeah.
So
that's like
and you'll be happy going through it. So like, would you rather like, even again, in a shitty situation, would you rather like sit in shit or would you rather sit in happiness? So you kind of just have to
totally
pull yourself out of it.
And especially like in real estate, I mean, so many people are negative. Like, God forbid. Like
well, it's such a stressful situation.
Yeah.
There's like 5 different parties trying to transact, and at any given point, like the ball can drop. So it's really important to manage that.
And the ball gets fumbled a lot.
And it's our job to like keep it positive, keep it moving.
It's hard. And, you know, especially, you know, just, I feel like a lot of people struggle with wanting to do better. And then they're surrounded by people that don't want better for themselves or them. And it's just super hard.
It's the energy of it. Like your vibe attracts your tribe.
And that's like, I feel like even for us, like that's like working with clients that are like-minded and being the person to show that positivity to other people, being the light. And I believe like, no matter what you believe in, like universe, God, like whatever, but just being somebody to show other people that are pessimistic and negative that like, hey, it's not so bad. Like, stick with me.
Right.
I got you. And I think that's, you know, that's why we're here. And that's why we've kind of started this podcast. It's like, we like each other's energy.
Yeah.
We vibe really well.
Keep it up.
And we just we want to share with everyone else and know that like, you know, you got it. And life's not so hard if you just switch your mindset, literally.
Right. I mean, when I first got my license in real estate, I was definitely in lack mindset.
You were super lack
mindset. And it was because, you know, of course, the reality of the situation was single mom. I didn't have anything in savings because we were just coming out of COVID. So I blew through it. I had to put food on the table, roof over my daughter's head, in the car. And it was like, I remember Lindsay saying to me, like, you have to get out of lack mindset. And it didn't make sense to me. And then,
so explain like a little bit, because I feel like you're such a good example of like where you are now and versus where you were. And that's kind of what a lot of people are maybe experiencing, and they just don't even know how to get out of that lack mindset.
So I think a little bit in the beginning was like delusional, you know, even if it was like a bad situation, I literally just would tell myself like, it's okay. And I would talk myself through it. The biggest thing for me was like healing. So being absolutely truthful with myself and like examining those pain points so that I can like look at them and move through them. You know, even if you don't have like a bad childhood, chances are you have like some type of trauma that you need to work through. Yeah. Because when then when I achieved what I wanted to and I was still unhappy, it was kind of like, what's going on? And that's where I took a deeper dive into that, just to like release that. But yeah, it was just the grind.
What are some things you did to release that?
Shadow work. So a lot of journaling, a lot of self-reflection. It's super uncomfortable to sit with that, but there was a lot of crying. Like I laugh when I see those things on Instagram. That's like everybody thinks healing is like all this like fun, and there's a girl in the corner like crying, hysterical crying.
That was you.
That was me. That was definitely
Love
me.
It.
But again, the growth mindset, just like setting my goals, working my ass off to get there. Like literally, you have to give. Like you know, you have to give all of yourself,
and it's not easy.
No,
like. Yeah. It's not
definitely
easy.
not easy.
I think that's the problem too. In like social media, especially, like there's so much out there. It's like people make it seem like it's so easy to be successful. Even myself, I'm like, oh, like, you know, why is this so fucking hard sometimes? But it's like, that's just life. And if you want to be successful and you want to have that growth mindset, you have to just constantly, you know,
put the work in. Yeah. Don't settle. I think it's really important. So another thing with me, which I attribute to that is setting boundaries and cutting out toxic people, things, environments. Like I wasn't eating healthy. I wasn't working out, like cutting out like pharmaceuticals, like doctor prescribed medicine. I know some people need to be on it, but like going the more holistic, all natural route, cutting out processed foods, processed sugars. That really had an effect on me. And I know has a big effect on majority of people. Yeah.
Sugar's a killer.
It's a killer. It literally is. And let's see, what else was there? Yeah. And then, you know, I would put so much work into getting myself to this level. And then at the end of the day, like just surround myself with, again, negative people that would just bring you right back down. So that was hard, but to cut them out was.
And sometimes, right, like going through this is maybe a little lonely at times, would you say?
So that, oh my God, I hated it in the beginning.
Yeah.
I would do everything and anything to distract myself because it was just me and my daughter. She was younger. And again, surround myself with people that probably shouldn't have been around with, just to like
feel like you had someone there.
Yeah. It took about like 3 months to feel comfortable being alone. Now, like, I love it. But again, I didn't want to be alone because I didn't want to be in my own head because of that narrative that I was telling myself. So diving deeper into that, like revealing it and then healing it. And then you're like, okay, pretty kick ass. Like, I can do that.
And I feel like truthfully, like in this, just it being alone and sitting with yourself and your thoughts is hard, especially for a lot of people that, you know, for me, like I'm not one to like meditate. Like I don't do any of that shit, but knowing that like this feeling is temporary. And once you feel better about yourself and who you are as a person, you can attract what you need in your life to then grow and to make you more whole. Like nothing's going to make you more whole than yourself, but to just add value and make things easier. So working with clients that vibe with you, that's going to make things easier, not harder. Like picking a partner that really like, you know, brings value to your life.
Making those hard decisions too, that if someone or something is not working for you,
just end it. Cold turkey.
And you know, being alone and like you can check in with yourself like several times throughout the day, or even meditation. Like it doesn't have to be like meditation, but like even, you know, pulling over on the side of the road and taking like 2 minutes to observe a beautiful waterfall, or just like taking a deep breath and like really being present inside your body, I think allows you to like then receive.
Yeah, for sure.
You.
And I think like you've kind of went through like a full transformation for sure. Like, but a lot of people a lot of people don't eat very healthy. A lot of people don't take care of their bodies. A lot of people don't do the things that really, to me, is very simple because I've done it my whole life.
Yeah.
But like, it's true. Like you really have to be taking care of your mind, body, and soul through everything in order to be successful. Like we live in such a busy life and everyone makes an excuse. And I don't want to say it's lazy because I've been there at times, but it's like you really have to prioritize yourself first.
Well, they don't teach you this stuff in school.
They don't.
Like, you know, we're in a society that like breeds like a certain, and they want us that way because it's all connected.
That's a whole nother conversation.
The education, all the systems, healthcare system.
But yeah, you really have to own your shit and, you know, make yourself a priority at the end of the day. Like, and you have to be the priority.
You have to, and set boundaries. Yeah. And I think the crazy thing about the whole process too is that, like for me, I always thought I would get to a certain level and then just be like, oh, okay, life is great. And I don't have to do anything else. But then once you get to the level, like it opens up more and more doors. So it just keeps getting like better and better, you know? And of course, like there's issues and there's things that come up, but it's just like staying the course and positive and knowing like, okay, if I do what I'm supposed to do, like eventually I'll get through this.
Yeah. And I think like gratitude too. And it's so hard for even, you know, we have this channel that we did with our brokerage and it was like to post daily gratitude videos. And like a lot of us, you know, kind of fell off and I feel like we should probably bring it back because
I know
it's so simple, right? Like, oh, like say like one thing you're grateful for. But a lot of people are just at me, especially I'm just like, the sun. Like, I don't know.
I know.
You know, so it's like to think about that and to like push yourself outside of your comfort zone to like really pick, like, I'm grateful for being here doing this podcast with someone that's fucking awesome, a cool ass studio. And, you know, just doing something different. And, you know, I'm grateful for that. And then I can carry that gratitude through my day.
Yeah. And even if you're in like, you know, the worst of a situation, like just finding what you're grateful for and holding on to that will pull you through to more positive, I think.
Yeah.
I think flow state for me is being inspired, being in the moment. Things are just kind of connecting. It's like little gifts from the universe. So again, that only comes in the present moment. And I always say like the gift of the present, because it literally is, I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway.
I think it's also leaning into those things. And this is like, if you go on, like, it's called a glimmer. At least in TikTok world, it's called a glimmer.
Yes.
And I love these like Gen Z like terms or whatever.
I know, they're great.
But okay, so a glimmer is like, okay, I got Starbucks today and my order was ready. Like, fuck yeah.
That's
like,
amazing.
Normal people would just be like, yeah, whatever, that's what it is. But just thinking of things as a glimmer, and then it allows you to kind of continue into that flow state throughout the day. Like, ooh, that was exciting. Ooh, like we just did this. Like, ooh, like the sun came out. Like, I don't know, little things.
Right.
And just like hyping yourself up
Yeah.
to continue the flow state of good, positive energy.
Exactly.
If someone tries to mess up your shit, next. Like,
it didn't cut it off. Like, don't even absorb it.
It did not even happen.
Right. And don't focus on it. Don't dwell on it. Like, just get yourself out of there.
And also, like, I think for me, what helps is like, especially in real estate, like I allow myself to feel, because that's super important, especially when you're, growing and changing and cutting off and doing all those things. But like, allow yourself to feel, but like, do not dwell on it, because don't let it ruin your whole day, because that's just such a waste. And it's so hard to be there. But like, okay, sit with it for like 10 minutes. Okay, deal fell through. All right, cool. That sucks. Let me sit with it.
Yeah.
And then just get back on the phone and make more dials.
Right.
And like change your situation. So I think that's like super important of a takeaway, that knowing not everything's gonna be perfect ever.
Right.
Nothing ever is perfect. But finding, the little glimmers in your day to day.
And I think as somebody that, is just starting out, I think that's a great place to start, because it's not like a massive thing. Like, of course you could journal, you can work out, you could eat healthier, you can,
There's a whole
meditate.
list.
There's a ton of things. But if you just take everyday moments and appreciate them, and again, lean into them, like literally you're leaning towards a positive, it's just going to naturally pull you in the direction that you need to be.
I like that. So the biggest takeaway from listening to this episode is to
lean
find
into
the glimmer.
Lean into the glimmer.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good one. Yeah. I guess like, since this is a little bit of a real estate podcast, let's talk about what it takes to have a growth mindset in a career that is so crazy, so fast paced, super competitive.
Yeah.
What are some things that you do in your day to day to continue to have a growth mindset and grow your business?
So, grasp all opportunities that come your way. You can't really bank on one deal or the next going through, so you kind of have to absorb it all. And obviously staying positive, pushing forward. And I think it's really important to just challenge yourself. Challenge it. We're put in uncomfortable situations all the time. I think, making the dials, doing the door knocking, having those difficult conversations. But it's funny because with real estate, it's like, go, 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 go. You get, you're up here and then deals close and it's like, okay, I just did great, but I have to do it all over again. So you're constantly we're constantly challenging ourselves to show up and, to follow through.
Otherwise, your bank account suffers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially in real estate, like what you do today
doesn't translate for sometimes a while.
Yeah, 3 to 6 months.
I think that's like a big misconception that a lot of people have. And it's like, ooh, realtors make a lot of money and no one knows really how we get paid. So like, that's a whole nother topic. But like knowing that like, okay, we do something today, like we might not even see the results of that ever because it might not even close. And if it does close, it might not happen until 30, 60, 90, 120, like who knows how long,
right?
Because there's so many things that can, drag it down.
And that goes to like, planning and your routine and just making sure that you do the things every day. Because it is easy to get comfortable. But again, like you're constantly pushing yourself further.
And it's also hard too. Like it's a continuous effort to like do the things you need to do to grow your business when we are being pulled in so many different directions. It's like we could do so many different things with our day. And sometimes I allow my day to just dictate what I do, which is not ideal for someone that's trying to grow their business. You need to really set boundaries with your schedule, with your people, with your time. And that's super hard, especially,
just because our schedules like really aren't our schedules.
They're not, you know. And you have to be okay with that, because if you're someone that really gets thrown off by like certain changes or shifts, it's like, I would never recommend you do real estate.
You have to let it go. You have to let it go. And it's so funny to think about Gary.
Glimmer? Oh God, yeah.
When Gary first started, because And I was the same way, actually, when I first started. I was like, oh my God, like I needed this. And it was like, you're just throwing it all out the window and you're just going. So
yeah, Gary is like this big beefy dude. Maybe we'll bring him for an episode.
The warden.
He's like a licensed electrician, like super beefy and like
amazing,
direct and, you know, assertive. And he was,
big planner.
He's a little flustered sometimes. It was nice seeing a big dude flustered.
I know. So funny.
But yeah, like, you know, just knowing that you have to do the things that you do not want to do a lot.
Right.
And obviously once you get the results, it'll be worth it in the end.
Yeah.
But,
and I think naturally, like mind, body, soul, like it all changes. So if you start with even, you know, work out twice a week. If you're starting from nowhere,
I think
eat healthier.
I think a good thing, and it's for anyone, is like, a lot of people set these goals that are really unattainable for them. Mm-hmm. I think that's huge. Like everyone's like, oh, I'm going to do 75 hard. It's like, bitch, I can't do 75 hard. I will not.
Got to day 37.
No, I don't even think I made it to like day 5. I was like, I want an Aperol Spritz. But like set attainable goals, right? So if like you want to just, I don't know, work out
what's
once
that
a
saying?
week.
Like to climb the mountain, it's like one foot in front of the other, you know, one step at a time. That's important because for me, like I would make these goals. I'd write them all down and I had nothing but like notepads around me and I wasn't doing any of it because it wasn't attainable.
And you know
why
like, break it down. You know why you weren't getting anywhere?
Because I wasn't breaking it down small enough.
That, and you weren't trusting yourself that you were going to do it. You weren't holding yourself accountable.
Right.
And to us, like the highest form of self-love is to do what you say you're going to do. Like we love when other people do what they say they're going to do. Relationships. When we say, oh, we're going to run 5 miles by the end of the week and we don't, it's like, whatever.
Well, the alternative of not doing it is like not doing it. And then you feel like shit because you didn't do it. So what
if you said you were going to do something and actually did it? How good would you feel?
Right. Right. And again, checking off the boxes and setting smaller goals or leaning into them. And definitely
just trusting in yourself and following through with what you say you're going to do. Like that's huge.
Level up. So when you level up, like you'll just keep leveling up basically.
Yeah. And I mean, that's, I think the biggest takeaway for having growth mindset is doing what you say you're going to do and following through.
Yeah.
Ultimately. Because if you don't, you're not hurting anyone but yourself, honestly.
Do you follow like a strict routine? I mean, obviously you have time blocking where you're running around with your clients, but
I go in waves.
Okay.
Because it's so hard for me. Like I'm very.
What are your non-negotiables like in the morning?
Well, I love to work out. That's like a non-negotiable for me is like working out. Like it doesn't have to be in the morning. Recently, since it's been cold, I've been working out in the afternoon.
Okay.
And I'm like, shit, like I love working out in the morning, starting my day right. I don't know. Like I don't really have non-negotiables. I know I always have to move my body.
Yeah.
Like if I don't, it's not good for me. I eat super healthy, like all the time. And obviously I treat myself to whatever I want, but like I would rather bring my lunch to the office than have tacos with everyone yesterday. That's just me, like, because I'll feel better.
Yeah.
Right. And I think for me, the biggest thing that's changed is just cutting out people that were not promoting my growth mindset.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Let's dive into that. Like, so let's talk about, because this was another eye opener when you start setting boundaries. Like, because I think the hardest thing to do, because for myself, like I was a people pleaser. I wanted to make everybody happy. Like I literally felt when they were unhappy with me. So it like tore me up inside.
Yeah.
When you start setting those boundaries,
it feels fucking good.
It feels really good.
Beginning,
the scariest is setting it in the beginning, but then
in the beginning, you know what it is like you'll try and set these boundaries because you're like trying to be the better person, and then they're not receptive, and then they make you feel like shit for like setting a boundary. Like, oh, I have to do a showing on a Saturday. Like, oh, like you know, like this is what I need to do to grow my business, and if you don't give a fuck. See you the fuck later.
Because they're not supporting your greatest,
see you later.
Good.
Because honestly, I know what I want to be and I know where I want to be in 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And if whoever is not supporting that, like a partner, your family, like the other people you work with are not supporting you, then like literally just get rid of them.
Right.
And after that, you will just feel so much better. Like a lot of people, they like know what they need to do, but there's myself included. You know what you need to do before you actually do it. And that's fine. Like live there, and whatever time feels right to you in the moment, like you will know, and then you will do it.
You got to trust your intuition. Like you will absolutely have to trust your intuition.
And this is the best thing about making a decision. And this is, I think, the biggest takeaway for me. And it was like, I can make any decision I want.
Yeah.
And if I don't like it there, I can always change it from there.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing is like knowing that like whatever decision you make, that was a decision you made, own it. If you don't like it, you can always change it.
Right.
if I decide to cut someone off that's no longer serving me and I really do miss their energy or whatever, great, I can get them back.
Right.
And if not, wasn't meant to be.
Right.
Like that's how you should live your life. That's how I live my life now. And I'm so much happier. But just knowing that like whatever you do is meant for you.
Right.
And if it's not
and
meant
trust
for you,
that. You have to trust
something
that.
else will better happen for you, for sure.
And I think through all of it, through growth mindset, through positive thinking, through flow state, through being in the moment, setting boundaries, like the number one thing is trusting your instinct.
Trusting your intuitions.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people don't do that, especially as females. We're
always like
have intuitions. Like that's like our superpower. I made a TikTok about it. People made fun of me for it, whatever. But being a female, we have this intuition that guys don't have. Sorry, you don't have it, but lean into it.
Yeah.
And that's our advice. Cool. So thank you for watching. Follow us on social. We love talking about all things growth mindset, manifesting, a little bit of real estate here and there, but really
sprinkle that in.
But really like just, owning your shit, doing what you say you're going to do. And if you like what you heard, we're going to challenge you to do one thing daily to have a growth mindset and to get to a level where you're feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
And we hope to catch you on our next episodes. Follow us, subscribe. And if you have any real estate questions specifically here, anywhere
hit us up.
Yeah, here, Hudson Valley or anywhere else, we have referral partners all over. We would love to work with you.
Have a good day.
Bye.